Well, there's plenty of research backing the idea that children need to cut down on their sugar consumption. But does any amount of sugar affect their behaviour?
We decided to run our own experiment in the Live Well Behaviour Lab to see if sugar really does make kids hyper.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Live Well Sugar Lab. As you can see, we're very scientific here. I have a lab coat on, so I must know what I'm doing. Today we're testing the effect of sugar on a child's behaviour. I have two identical test subjects for our experiment, and when I say identical, I do mean identical. They're identical twins, so that means that DNA or genetics won't play a role in the outcome today. Our first subject will be eating this, a plate of jelly snakes. And our second subject will be eating this, a plate of dry sayos. These snakes are almost entirely made of sugar. They're about 96% sugar, so she'll be getting a great sugar rush when she eats those. Now over here, the dry crackers contain almost no sugar whatsoever, less than 1%, so she won't be getting much sugar buzz from that at all. We'll come back later in the show to find out what effect sugar or no sugar has on a child's behaviour.
I'm not so sure about that experiment, but let's cross back later for an update. In the meantime, please welcome nutritionist Kristen Beck to discuss what role sugar plays in kids' behaviour. Now, does sugar make kids hyper?
Look, it's always been the myth, hasn't it? It's always been, mother thinks kids had sugar, we're going in for a long afternoon. But realistically, the science now has well and truly busted in the short term that sugar will actually cause hyperactive behaviour.
That's interesting. Wasn't what I expected to hear. Why is that?
Look, there's several randomised clinical trials, which basically means that the parents have not been told whether or not the children have actually had sugar or a non-sugar substitute, but they've told the parents that they've had sugar. If they believe the child has had sugar, they will actually rate their child's behaviour as worse.
That's interesting. So it's a little bit of a placebo effect. It's just that old school that we hear, if you give your children sugar, they're going to be hyper. But in fact, as you just said, the results are showing that's not the case.
Exactly. And basically, what they call is research bias, or parental bias, where parents, because they believe, and personally, as a mother myself, you watch your kids eating a whole lot of sugar and you go, oh my gosh, what are we in for? But the research says it's not the sugar actually causing the meltdowns. Maybe they're having a meltdown because they don't want to leave the party.
So we have to change our mindset, right?
Yeah.
But so babies are born with a sweet tooth.
Yes.
We're born with a sweet tooth because we have to crave the breast milk.
Yes.
So what role does sugar play? Why do we need sugar?
Okay, so babies are actually born with sweet, salty and fatty taste preferences. So the innate taste preference for us, all humans, sweet, salty, fatty. Sweet is number one. We're always going to be craving sweet stuff. And the sweet stuff is so important because it's what gives us energy. When we're out, wherever, sugar, whether it be coming from fruits, vegetables, wherever it's coming from, even the healthier sources are still our energy source.
Let's talk about that for a minute. In terms of, you said from fruit, so
Yes.
fructose.
Yes.
Children that want to eat, my children love having a punnet of strawberries or a punnet of blueberries.
Fantastic.
Okay, that has a lot of sugar in it.
Yes, it does.
What are your thoughts on that?
As a mother, I would absolutely recommend that as, one of the best snacks you could possibly have. At the end of the day, kids are going to be craving sugar and, and adults, we crave sugar. If they can be filling up on fruit, which also comes with vitamins, minerals, fibre, fluids, it's come from the ground, fantastic. You can't get a better afternoon snack than some a punnet of strawberries or some blueberries.
Great.
So why are all these people out there screaming, quit sugar,
Yes.
don't eat sugar? Where's the problem?
Look, like with everything in nutrition, we tend to always go, one way, way too far that way or way too far that way. Sugar, when it is refined, when it's added to things, is bad, okay? We are taking in too much, okay? A little bit we can absolutely deal with. Our bodies are actually pretty well set up to deal with a whole lot of stuff, okay? But when it comes to just filling up your diet with highly processed foods that have actually lost your vitamins, lost your minerals, lost your fibre via processing and then a whole lot of added sugar whacked back into it, that's where you're actually going to start displacing the healthy stuff that we need to get our nutrients in.
So what are some of the problems that arise from a kid having too much sugar?
Look, we have really, really strong research to say that dental cavities, we've always known, dental cavities are linked to sugar, and so you need to be careful of that. Also, there is research, very, very strong research to say that if kids have too much sugar in the form of drinks, in particular soft drinks, cordials, fruit juices, too much of those, can actually cause obesity, and there is an absolute link between those two because the drinks do not have that filling effect that, you know, eating food will.
I think what I struggle with when I go shopping is there's obviously hidden sugars in things like tomato sauce, pasta sauce.
Yes.
I just don't know where to look.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm eating a meal that's full of sugar.
Yes.
Got any tips for that?
Look, anything where there's any kind of sugary ingredient, and you can normally pick it up, it'll have sugar, but often it'll end up in, it might be another technical term that ends up in the letters OSE on the end. O's, fructose, glucose, maltose, galactose, you know, all those, anything finishing in O's will mean sugar, okay? And if they're in the top 3 ingredients on the list,
Say goodbye to it.
bye-bye, yeah.
Okay, easy tip.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in, Kristen.
Thanks for having me.
I guess we better check into that lab to see what's going on with that experiment.
Welcome back to the Live Well Science Lab. It's been 30 minutes since we started the test, and as you can see, things are heating up. The trouble is, I honestly can't remember which of the twins ate the sugar and which didn't. Come on, girls, please. Come on, I'm a scientist. Settle down. Come on, enough. All right, come your way then. All right.